All right, let's get to this topic. Last night, while I was going to see the Bruce movie, PLD, our producer, sent me this article, and he said, "Look at this. This just broke. Check this out." And I saw some putts on wheels saying, "This is gonna be Kristian Harloff's life for the rest of 2025." Suck my balls and write about it in the Maryland Post. I couldn't give a shit about this story, to be honest with you, but I wanted to say, like, let's talk a little bit about it and see what everybody else thinks. Let's see, hold on, where is it? Okay, and this is Adam Driver was doing some press, and he said Adam Driver has revealed that both he and filmmaker Steven Soderbergh spent 2 years developing a script for a Star Wars spin-off film. Speaking with the AP, Adam Driver said the script was called The Hunt for Ben Solo, with events taking place after The Rise of Skywalker. It would have followed Driver's character Kylo Ren on a search for redemption. Driver called it handmade, character-driven, and drew comparisons to The Empire Strikes Back. Soderbergh planned out the story with Logan Lucky screenwriter Rebecca Blunt, while his Contagion screenwriter Scott Z. Burns also worked on the script. Driver tells the news outlet, "I always was interested in doing another Star Wars. It had been talked about since 2021. Kathleen Kennedy had reached out. I said, with a great director, great story, I'll be there in a second. I love that character. I love playing with him." Soderbergh and Driver then pitched The Hunt for Ben Solo to Kathleen Kennedy, Dave Filoni, and Carrie Beck at Lucasfilm. The group reportedly were all in. However, when they took the script over to Disney, they were shut down. We presented the script to Lucasfilm. They loved the idea. They totally understood our angle and why we were doing it. We took it to Bob Iger and Alan Bergman. They said no. They didn't see how Ben Solo was alive, and that was that. I really enjoyed making the movie in my head. I'm sorry the fans won't get to see it. It was one of the coolest effing scripts I'd ever been part of. Okay, I'm going to start with Mike here. You heard the story. Did you hear the story today when we sent it, or did you hear it last night when it broke?
I heard it yesterday. Yeah, I saw it yesterday.
What are your overall thoughts on this?
Soderbergh, Star Wars, that's pretty awesome. Other than that, I don't know. I saw a lot of people online like, "Oh, we could have gotten this, but now we're getting Mandalorian and Grogu." I was like, yeah, that's like so after the fact when people talk like that. Like, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, how is he alive? But again, when's the time frame? Where does it take place? I don't know, man. For me, Ben Solo was such a good character originally, and then what he ended up was like, I don't care if I ever see him again. Like love or hate the Acolyte, the Manny Jacinto, was it Manny Jacinto, right? In that
Manny Jacinto,
yeah. Like I'd love to see him again in anything. That character, he was so good. Like Ben Solo, what they ended up doing with him, and I don't know, man. You don't kill Han Solo and then get redemption.
Right.
So I don't know, man.
No, doesn't
like you. Yeah. You said you couldn't care. I was like, I don't care.
One of the things I've really been excited to talk to you guys about is strawberry.me. It really is getting past the fact that everybody has a job. You want to turn a job into your career. And this is a plan of action in order to do it. Everybody knows that you got to have a job. But a lot of people, most people want a career. It's not just something that's going to get you some cash in the bank account, but it's something that's going to make you feel good about what you're doing and you accomplish something. So if you feel like you're stuck in your job and you want to level up on your career, you really should start checking out strawberry.me. It's a career coaching service, and it helps you move up the ladder. It'll help you if it's trying to get better pay, land your job in your industry that you're passionate about. You take a quiz, and then strawberry.me is going to match you with a career coach that's best suited to help you achieve your goals. And for me, I sat down, had a conversation, and really started to analyze a lot of the things that I have done, will do, want to do, and it puts it in perspective, and it worked tremendously. You want to back and forth, you look at, okay, this is a job, this is my career, this is the thing that pays the bills, this is the thing that I'm confident about, that I like going to every day, that I want to make work. So you got to be accountable for this stuff, and it's so important and so easy to put off important career moves without somebody to keep you on track, and that's what strawberry.me does. So head on over to strawberry.me/Kristian and claim that special offer and get started today. That is strawberry.me/Kristian. Stop settling. Start building the career that you actually want. Roxy?
Is that what you said, Kristian? I couldn't tell at the beginning when you were talking to somebody to suck your balls and write about it. Oh. Were you saying you don't care if the story was
I don't care about this story. I mean, I can
You
tell
don't care about the story, like you don't care about this movie. You don't care about.
Well, here's the thing, is that I actually agree with Mike 1,000%. Is it amazing that team that they put together? Soderbergh, that writer, Adam Driver, it's a great team, and it would probably be an interesting movie. But I kind of agree where it's like, well, wait a minute, we just killed this guy. We went all the way through this angle, and we're gonna bring him back just because we got a cool pitch. I don't know. And the fans really weren't loving those 3 movies that we did. It was probably right in the height of all the hate and everything too. They're like, let's take a break, or whenever they pitched it. And he's like, so I kind of get it. And it's like, and it was, I thought they totally dropped the ball. I was a big advocate for bringing Palpatine back to relate it to the Plagueis story in episode 3 of Did I Ever Tell You a Story of Dark Plagueis the White Guy who cheat death? They're going to tell us how he cheated death. They're going to tell us that whole thing and how he was able to do it. The story of Plagueis, they're going to combine it, and they did a stupid cloning thing, and somehow Palpatine survived. So who's to say they're not going to do that again with this one? And they're trying to move on in general. To answer Mike's question that the fans were asking about Mandalorian and Grogu, we've talked about this in depth. They're doing that because it's a business decision. Instead of spending $140 million on season 4, no, I know you do. Season 4 of a show, they're spending $140 to put it in the theater and try to make some money back on it. So that's why they're doing that. It's Starfighter that if you want to say, "What, we're going to get Starfighter instead of this," I would rather have Starfighter personally. Let's leave those characters behind. I agree with Mike. I don't think they needed to kill off. I don't think they needed to redeem Kylo Ren. They should have stuck with the Trevorrow script in the way that they were going to do there. Let's put this character to bed.
Okay, so I understood 50% of what you were talking about.
Fair.
Those of you guys who don't remember, I'm extremely casual as a Star Wars fan.
Mm-hmm.
So this sounds really dope to me. Because I'm a movie person. So Soderbergh doing a Star Wars movie sounds dope. And I loved Kylo, and Adam Driver is one of my favorite actors of this generation. So when you say people, they wanted to let it rest because the 3 movies were not doing well with, or not talked about well as the fans. Yeah, but like brought home bank.
But decreased in money.
Yeah,
each time.
but still, even though it decreased, they all annihilated at the box office. And that's me. This, I don't know. I feel like this would have made them money, and I feel like this is so up my alley. So it's interesting because every time I'm interested in something, Star Wars fans are not. And they shouldn't be making movies geared towards me. It's probably really smart that they didn't make this. But like when you guys talk about movies, I'm like, or Star Wars movies that you want to see happen, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I could conk out right now. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that's what they should do. Just, I heard this and was like, that's effing dope. Wish we saw that.
I mean, again, I think that if you can try to find a way to get Soderbergh back to do a script, that'd be amazing. But it's the same thing where, and I said to PLD, I said, my problem also is it's still the same management team that's running it. And he said, well, didn't have a problem with Andor. I was like, Gilroy kind of ran that on his own for the most part. You know, he had obviously Lucasfilm given him the okay and certain things, so you can't just run rogue, obviously. But as I have said many times over, and people do not believe me, and I don't give 2 shits, Filoni not a fan of Andor, and you know maybe is now as far as what it did, but he would have too much involvement in that Soderbergh thing. Kathleen Kennedy probably same thing, and the movies are very different than the TV show, so I just don't trust this leadership with anything. Much
I'm sure
less
you're right.
that thing.
I'm sure you're right.
But I understand your point of view too. I understand your point of view as well. I think that when it comes to wanting to see, as a casual fan, that character, how are they going to do it with that team involved? I get it. But the other thing I found intriguing, though, this is something that I always was very curious about. I know that the studio has to greenlight budget. I know that they have to greenlight certain things. I didn't realize how much creatively that Disney had on this, because that's not what I'm accustomed to. Certainly, it's like, okay, look, we have this thing that we want to put forward. We like this story. We want to tell this story. Okay, how much is it going to cost? Well, it'll cost this. Can you bring it down to this? That's usually conversations. It's not, well, we don't want to put that out there. I mean, it's like morally and all those other things, but like creatively to have them say no, because we don't want to bring Kylo back. On the production, I'm like, well, that's our creative vision. That's where we want to go with it, because it's our character. You tell us how much we need to do, how much money it needs to be in order to get there. But that inflicts on what I used to think. I used to think that Disney didn't have as much say in the creative, but I guess that they do.
Huh. When it comes to tent poles, I would think that always, like,
Notes.
especially our big franchises. No, I mean, we've seen time after time creatively they have huge input with Marvel and DC movies. Studios do.
No, but
what direction they're going in when it ties into a bigger universe.
Sure, but notes. But again, it's a green light. Like it's almost like if they were like, okay, Feige was like, well, we've got this movie now that which is next in our saga, which is whatever it is, Beef Boy, and Beef Boy is crucial to how it ties into this. We need to put Beef Boy up on screen. And Iger's like, well, no. He's like, well, but it's crucial to then get us to hear. No, that doesn't happen a lot. Like, because Ant-Man 2, at least, again, notes how much is going to be, casting decisions, things of that nature. Absolutely. Studio asks, inquires, does that all the time. But the creative of it, I'm not sure. But
we fire directors for creative differences all the time.
Sure. But,
so I think that's just the layer that we're not hearing out loud, is because we didn't like the direction you were going in with the project.
But again, Rox, a lot of those creative differences have always been creative differences with Lucasfilm, creative differences with, Kathleen Kennedy, creative differences with this. You never really hear they had creative differences with Disney. They had creative differences with Lucas. And but anyway, it will just go run around in circles.
I definitely hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree, but I hear you.
Yeah. Nonetheless, there is it's out there now. Iger said, nope, don't want to tell that story. No, thank you. We maybe it comes down to we just don't want to invest in it. We don't.
Sounds like it was the right decision based on you guys who are much bigger Star Wars fans than me.
I think so. I think you're going to get people who will be bummed about it, but the other thing is this story will be a story today and no one will give a crap about it in a month from now.
Have you guys seen any diehard Star Wars fans bummed about this?
I mean, just look at the ones that are super positive.
Yeah,
I'm sure they look.
Yeah, if you've got Star Wars in your bio somewhere, you were upset about this and you want.
Oh, really?
I think yeah. Especially like there are people who love the new trilogy and people like yourself. And people who love the new trilogy that would want to see this.
I'm not a diehard Star Wars person.
Yeah, it's funny though too, because I'll tell you, it doesn't matter. Casual fans see, here's the difference though. I think that the people who really, really love the trilogy will be bummed about it and can bring it up. I don't know if you'll ever bring it up again. You're like, that sucks. I would have liked to have seen that.
I will not remember this in 1 week. I won't remember who was involved at all. No.
There you go. Right. See, exactly.
Right.
Roxy, you're coming at it from. You like movies, you like the filmmakers. Why wouldn't you want to see this?
Yeah.
Harloff and I are coming in from, we're not diehard Star Wars fans, but we've seen the Star Wars that produced during this era. It wouldn't make sense. It doesn't. Why? And then there's the other people.
Like, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, oh, that I didn't know that. I didn't know that this was.
So you're coming at it from a very just movie lover. I say that a lot. Anytime someone says to me like, "Who asked for this movie?" What, that is the stupidest fucking thing I ever hear when people say that when a movie's made. Who asked for this? Well, half the movies you got in this world. If Lethal Weapon, like, who asked for this movie? What a buddy cop. Who asked for this? And it's one of the greatest action comedy movies of all time. Like, I can't stand people like that. But like,
what I hate,
Harloff and I are coming into this from just bad mistake after bad decision after bad idea.
The team's in the basement. But here's the thing that I see in the comments again, where I always push back and say, you overuse it. You don't know how it works. Someone said Star Wars is dead. No, it's not. It's in trouble. It's on the ropes. It's not dead. Dead means that no one is interested anymore. Dead means that if
Tron is dead.
Tron's got a good shot of being dead.
I'll tell you this. You guys say that. You say that, but I guarantee there's some Tron thing in the works right now.
It's
You're
not
right.
to-
You're right.
I said it's close to being dead. It's close, but no.
Okay, let's ask you this. Let me ask you, the two of you guys, this. What franchise or thing do you think is dead? Because I'm telling you, this is Hollywood, and nothing's fucking dead.
Completely dead? I'm with you.
Yeah.
Completely
dead. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
I've never used that expression before to describe a movie or TV
Like,
show. It's
right,
not how I
like-
talk.
It's usually like
Just as
in what
joke.
state of trouble is it in? Right? Because at one point you could have and been wrong, said Batman is dead after Batman and Robin. No one wants to see Batman. No one wants to see Batman anymore. Batman
I
is
think
dead. Go
the
ahead.
DCEU is dead. Like there's franchises that are dead.
Okay.
That's a good way to. That's a good way to say it.
Roxy
Yeah,
said them.
100%.
Yeah, that's a.
But
yeah.
even then,
Scary,
even then,
scary thing to
He's-
say.
I know. So you're like you're pushing, you're poking the bear this morning.
I think.
Right. right.
Um,
So, but either
but-
either way, listen.
No, now I'm thinking,
We're
let
gonna
me
get
think.
back. We're gonna get back into some stuff because we'll talk about that Tron thing and other things. But the question is, overall, what do you guys make of this story? Do you care? Do you not care? Do you think it would have worked? Do you like the team that was involved? Put your thoughts in there. Let us know. Slap a little mustard on it.
Mustard?
Exactly.